have like 15 minutes.
Okay, let's go.
We don't want the class to hear us.
There's more. Quiet.
Van.
The classroom is just right under us.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Can we get everything out in 5 minutes?
Just grab a box and go.
We're like fish here in a shark tank. They're circling.
Hey everyone, my name is Eskel Grant, and in this video we're going to be talking about Vana and Arial's escape from the FLDS polygamous cult. This one actually is very fascinating to see how closely connected a lot of the different polygamous cults are. We're going to see the Kingston polygamous group coming down to funerals at the FLDS community, as well as doing service projects and helping the FLDS community. We're going to see children talking about their dead parents and saying that they are grateful for it. We're going to see some really messed up ways of thinking that both of these groups use to manipulate their members. They're going to have so many difficulties that they're running into, not only physically because they're within a gated community, but mentally, that they're trying to rediscover who they are, what they truly want out of life, and how this escape is going to help them. We see them manipulate their own children to talking about how it was destined by God for their siblings and their parents to die. We'll be seeing Vana taking photos of the Prophet Warren Jeffs with her when she leaves, messing with the psychological aspect of what she truly believes and wants from this escape, diving deep into what these members truly believe and how they're so focused on a type of loyal obedience that a lot of the times they don't get to define for themselves what they want out of this religion or out of this community and this group. They oftentimes are just being manipulated and being told exactly what to believe. Along with many of the mental struggles that come even after years of being out of these cults and still trying to define your own belief system or derail all of the manipulation that they have put you through your entire upbringing and rediscover your own moral beliefs. If this one doesn't mess with your head, I don't know what will. Because we're going to see just how manipulated and brainwashing these leaders are with all of this power and how receptive young children are. Desperate for guidance and leadership in their lives, that they embrace these crazy beliefs, these messed up ways of thinking, and the most absurd lifestyles you could ever imagine. It just blows my mind.
I am legitimately nervous to go into FLDS territory.
The FLDS stands for the Fundamentalist Latter-day Saints. This group is led by their prophet Warren Jeffs, who is currently serving a life sentence plus 20 years in prison for child sexual assault.
Arial and Vana are sisters that live in Colorado City, the headquarters for the FLDS cult.
Recently, the FLDS, a polygamous group in Colorado City that's located at the Arizona and Utah border, experienced a devastating flood that killed many of their FLDS members.
Oh dear, there's 2 vehicles.
Apparently, Warren Jeffs from jail is telling the people that that flood happened to awaken them because they're not righteous enough and that they needed to be punished.
Man, if this one doesn't make you question everything you believe in and make you want to take a step back and just look at why you say the things that you say and why you believe what you believe, you really need to take a deep look at how you interpret the world, because mankind can be convinced of just about anything. It's crazy to see this. And the flood even killed some of the members of the FLDS community.
This is a memorial service for the mothers and children whose lives were taken in the Maxwell Canyon flood.
Hello, everybody.
And so during this time, some of the Kingstons from the Kingston polygamous group actually went down south to Colorado City to do service projects and to help the FLDS community. And so it just goes to show just how close the Kingston polygamous cult and the FLDS polygamous cult are.
The Kingstons and the FLDS were once a part of the same group. Polygamy began in the United States in 1831 when Joseph Smith received a revelation from God. This revelation said that plural marriage should be practiced by Mormon men.
Even so much to where Daniel and his family and some other order members went to the funerals that they had in this FLDS community. And it was so weird seeing them there. But even weirder than that was seeing the talks that were given at this funeral. Seeing how the very children of the families went up and gave talks saying that it was God's will, that this was meant to be. Them reiterating what the leaders had said to him as this young child.
But I know that Heavenly Father wanted this to happen, and I'm grateful for this experience.
Man, this is such an eye-opener to how easily manipulated and convinced we are, especially at a young age. I feel like this, if anything, this should teach us more about psychology, about how the human mind works and how we are easily able to be convinced of things. This young boy had 7 of his own siblings die from the flood and 2 of his mother's.
I see it as stay there and not be happy, or go and do something that makes you happy.
Let's go.
You got backseat, backseat. Oh my gosh, the kids are out. No. The kids have seen us.
Thank God. Ariel and Vana were able to get out of there, but it wasn't easy.
What's going on? Is she coming with us?
Let's go.
Vana, how are you doing? Let's go. Okay. Yeah, go. Wait for just a minute.
I really admire them having the courage to reach out to Jessica and Colleen to get the help that they needed to leave. It's extra hard for people of the FLDS community because Jessica, Colleen, Andrea, Chanel, they've all left the Kingston polygamous group. So a lot of us Kingstons that are trying to escape, reaching out to them is like just calling up one of our half-siblings or one of our cousins and asking for their help. It's a lot easier. Whereas for Ariel and Vana and Yolanda, they really had to put a lot of trust into them, not even knowing who they were. And it just kind of goes to show just how desperate they were to find any way and any help they could to get out. And so when they're reaching out to Colleen and Jessica to get help escaping, they're realizing that they're going to have to go into this gated community to try and help get them out of there. And so they devise a plan and they get inside of the Colorado City community. They have to be very careful with who's watching them, who's going to try to stop them. And Vana grabs a photo of the prophet Warren Jeffs to take with her when she leaves. And to me, this was very shocking because when I left, I didn't believe in the prophet. I didn't think that having his photo on my wall would do anything or that there was any significance. And I felt like that was a part of why I was leaving. There was no truth behind this gospel that they were teaching me and this doctrine and this false prophet, right? So to see her still take that photo and kind of clinging to her beliefs was interesting to me because I personally liked the community, but not the religion. And so to me, I thought maybe she would grab a family photo or maybe something to remind her of the community. But the fact that she grabbed the photo instead kind of says to me that she still believes in it, or at least is like maybe confused in her beliefs.
What does it mean to have like Warren's pictures all over the house?
Just to help us remember him. That's what it's.
Do
That's
you
why
want
we
to
have
remember him though?
I actually don't know because I've never met him. I mean, when you meet somebody, then it means more to you, you know?
Which makes sense. I know this is a very stressful time. Oftentimes this has to happen very quick, and you know, derailing all of the manipulation and brainwashing of your entire childhood is going to take a lot.
Do you guys still believe that Warren is your prophet?
Because I've been taught that my whole life, it's gonna stick.
Do you
He's
know?
never done anything to me to like offensive or anything, so I know why they said that he's in prison.
Yeah.
But me personally, don't believe it. I don't believe it.
And I kind of relate it to how when I left, I remember clinging to my Bible, holding on to it so tightly as in if that was my lifeline to God, as in if that was what I desperately needed to make sure that I didn't get lost in the world, to make sure I still could be a good, righteous person. And just because I left this polygamous cult doesn't mean that I no longer believed in God or didn't have some sort of belief system. And so it's very fascinating to see this with other people that are leaving similar cults.
This is probably the hardest thing I had to choose. to leave the family or stay there.
And of course, we see a lot of the hard, sad parts of leaving. I've said this in many episodes before, and I'll say it again. The siblings are the ones we have the closest connection with. Parents are more of just like a police type of guardian that just watch over you and make sure you stay obedient and loyal, and they punish you when you don't. There's not this love connection to them. There's not meaningful relationships. It can be really sad. It's similar amongst all these groups that the siblings are taught to disown those who leave, that priesthood is more important than blood. Family needs to be viewed as something that you can disregard and forget about. It's one of the sad realities for sure. But let's not end on a sad note.
Someone reached out to us and donated a home for you girls to stay in. And it's just a temporary home. Since you're starting over from scratch,
Who wants to open it? Go ahead.
Oh, this is so neat.
I love that we get to see almost a year after she had first left. She has a job on the outside, and she has been experiencing this newfound freedom. And it's so cool to see her. Like, she looks so different. I think that's one of the really joyful aspects of leaving a cult and discovering a new you, a new life, new opportunities, a newfound excitement for freedom.
My thoughts on the religion, they haven't changed. The thoughts with Uncle Warren and what people say about him, it doesn't affect me because I believe what I believe. And I think that's how it's going to stay.